Hello again. We are well on our way through week 2 of the boot camp, which is all about common dysregulation triggers. And today's topic is, are you ready? Hurrying. Hurrying is a huge dysregulator for a lot of us. Everything from trying to get out the door in the morning to driving in a rushed way through traffic to just getting overwhelmed with everything you're trying to get done in a day. And here's the thing, most hurrying comes not because of society, not because of technology, but something much more ordinary than that. Are you ready for that? It's procrastination. We all do it. Not getting up out of bed after the alarm goes off, not getting out the door or leaving enough time to get where we're going. And what's one huge reason we procrastinate? That's right, dysregulation. So it's a vicious circle, procrastinating, dysregulating, hurrying, dysregulating, procrastinating some more, and so on. Our minds love a sense of spaciousness in time. Taking your time is wonderfully regulating. When's the last time you took a shower and stopped and just enjoyed the feeling of the water, or brushed your teeth without a feeling of pressure to hurry up? This pushing all the time can overwhelm us, and overwhelm all by itself triggers dysregulation. Our minds love doing things with careful attention, but the PTSD in us feels scared of slow, mindful processes because the bad feelings might get in. There have been times when I stopped to think about why I was hurrying so damn much all the time, and the best I could come up with was that I felt like I was being chased by emotions. I call it the pack of wolves. And funnily enough, when I sat in meditation and imagined the wolves came and just got me, nothing terrible happened, maybe a bit of a cry, and then it passes. But for a long time, I was running from that. So I hurried, and in my kind of dysregulation, hurrying makes me start losing my keys and spilling food down my shirt. So then I'm way late getting out the door. In 1 2-week period once where I was intensely dysregulated, I drove away from the gas station with the pump still in my car and then rear-ended a truck. Talk about brain waves just kind of rolling like a river over rocks. When I'm dysregulated, I will start bumping my head on open cabinet doors and shutting my fingers in the fridge. And worst of all, I can't get anything done when I'm dysregulated. So the irony is that all that hurrying just ends up making everything take a really long time. If you're from the United States, you'll remember the kids' show, Mr. Rogers. There's a beautiful movie that came out about him called Won't You Be My Neighbor? So wherever you are in the world, you can probably access that online. And I highly, highly recommend it. My grandmother, who cared for me after preschool every afternoon when I was 4 years old, used to let me watch Mr. Rogers, but no other TV shows because she said most shows were too frenetic and they got me all wound up. And definitely when I was 4, she knew that I was going through a lot of trauma at home. There was fighting and violence and just threats all the time. I was terrified of silly things like dripping faucets or being in a car driving over a hill. And, this was in San Francisco, so sometimes you're going up the hill and you can't see what's on the other side. But I would just panic thinking, there's a cliff there, we're going to fall thousands of feet. But Mr. Rogers started each episode by, he'd walk in the door of his home. It was a set, of course. He'd walk in, he'd say hello, he was singing, he'd unbutton his jacket, he'd carefully hang it in the closet. Then he'd take out his cardigan and he'd put that on very slowly, and then he'd take off his leather shoes and he'd put them in the closet, and he'd take out his sneakers and he'd put those on, and you'd get this close-up so that you could watch his hands, like tying the laces, and it was totally mesmerizing. And he made that show because he knew a lot of kids around him were going through trauma, and it was his ministry to hang out with us for half an hour each day and show us ordinary things done in a slow and ordinary way. You may have people from your childhood who you loved exactly because they helped you learn to move at the right pace for your brain. So your worksheet today will give you a chance to reflect on hurrying versus the speed of things that's calming for your brain. And I will see you in tomorrow's video.